And Barbara is here. And the music is still quiet. How many hours have passed? What, since we ate? Two hours have passed. Yeah, more or less 2 hours have passed since the food was ordered anyway. 2 hours have passed. So I'm now sitting there. This laptop, the other laptop, it will reach low battery life soon, but oh, it's late. It's not going to reach. I don't know. It'll reach low battery life soon. Is that Sakura? Shut up. It's Stephanie. I think Shinta's here too. So the laptop's battery life right now is 20%, the other one. That's fine, but the time right now is... This is annoying, so that whole scared of not getting the strike thing is still in my head and I don't like it. The other laptop has 20% battery life. My time is 54 minutes past 12 in the morning. I would like the time to be... Was that Tatsuaki? Oh no! It's my friend. It's crazy. Wow, what? Yeah. It's fun. That looks like Tatsuaki. I want to see if it is Barbara. That face. That's not like Tatsuaki. Tatsuaki. It's Mr. Tatsuaki. Yes. Yeah, he's fun. I like him. He's a samurai. There is. He's getting ready to bowl again. Where's Mr. Tats? Oh, how many pins you get? 3? You got at least 3 pins. He's alright. He's alright. So I would like the time to be 2 o'clock before... Go! I start charging the laptop, which seems a bit strange, but I understand why that is. So, the time right now is 55 minutes past 12 in the morning, which means you have an hour and 5 minutes. Wow, well done Tatsuaki. And Tatsuaki. I still have an hour and 4 minutes before... An hour and 4 minutes before... It'll be 2 in the morning, so you have to spend some time. You have to spend an hour doing something. What should we do? Well, I don't know. I'm very upset still, and I have too many problems. There are other things that I could do, but with my brain being like this, I doubt it will go very well. Other things I could do that I did not very comprehensive. Pin number 2 there. My thing is, I wonder how pin number 2 gets in, and if pin number 2 didn't, would Barbara just outright miss? And what is it about Barbara's throw that causes that to happen? But these things are quite interesting because I don't think all those times we used to play before, I wouldn't really think about how the strikes happen. It's just, you see strike exclamation mark, you see all the pins are no longer standing, and then suddenly you think, yes, I did it, but not how you did it. That gets thrown away. Don't think about that stuff. So, I couldn't tell you how that happened. Pin number 1, certainly lost pin number 1. Wait a minute. What if you were like this? Interesting.
Spare.
Your form looks really good, Barbara. Breaking habits. Perhaps the more we bowl, the more we can think about the score will just become irrelevant. Because it's... you just keep bowling, isn't it? So... see how many you can knock over this time. You've got another chance to knock over 10 pins. See how many you get. And the game finishes and you just go again. See how many of the 10 pins you can knock over. See if you can figure out why it didn't happen one time, but happened another. And why it's happening the way it's happening. So this time, the action's all on the right hand side. It's the right hand side where the pins are sort of barely getting other pins. Pin number 10 was lost to 4 even, instead of number 7. So it's all different. Ooh, was that a slow ball? It certainly was. You got 277, I think. that specific half of the parody spot that you keep exposing. Yeah, it's not what you get often, 277. It's interesting. And you got 8 strikes and you got spare 2 more strikes. You got 10 strikes. You knocked over at least 8 pins every time, and you got a good hook out of your ball. I'm not sure. Yeah, I would say that the ball was never really far away. If anything, there were times where it was too close to the middle. Mostly the 2 times you messed up. There's still the 9 spare. I'm not sure how the 9 spare happened. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you because I don't know. You just keep bowling and then you just forget that there's even a scorecard. Because most of what you're doing is throwing balls, seeing what happens. I guess it would be nice if you could have like a free mode. I have said this before about basketball, although I don't know if I've verbalized this. If I have verbalized my thought about basketball. If I had this idea where if you had a 3-point challenge mode, that wasn't actually a challenge, it was more a free play where you just get to throw. Wow, that pin fell over? What? How? That was really upset. Yeah, that barely touched that pin. That must have been what happened. Just about. Almost pushed it. Yeah, see, if you just had a mode where you could endlessly throw 3-pointers. Oh no, that's not good. Your hope was alright, but it was like you could just endlessly throw 3-pointers. I just realised that you actually got the other strike, so you know you have a turkey. We'll get to that point, because now I'm seeing the word turkey and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I wanted to talk about that, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just diverging for a moment, or digressing. We're going on a diversion. Through the ball here. It's not bad. Wow, that was really good. And now I'm not talking about. No, I'm not focusing on bowlers. That's sad. Well, good form. Why is it? Okay, yes, you have an endless mode because when you don't have an endless mode, you get 80 seconds, so you got that, and then you only have 25 balls, and then some of the balls are money balls, so they give you more points than you actually have points, and then you have the time bonus at the end. So there's all of these incentives for you to rush or get higher scores. And even the announcer, to be fair, the announcer, there's nothing wrong with the announcer saying, well done, you're on fire. But I think when you don't hear that, you know that you've messed up somewhere. So there's all these things that can make you feel like, oh no, we're not doing so well, we're getting distracted. That's lucky. And so when I think about, oh look, it says turkey, it says 4 bagger, 5 bagger, all this stuff. If it just showed strike, so the fireworks, whatever, fireworks can save, but if it just said, like here it just says spare, it doesn't say spare times 2, spare times 3, it just says spare. But when you get a strike, it says strike, double, turkey, 4 bagger, etc. And so the more strikes in a row you get, the more conscious you are of how many strikes you've gotten, and if you're really paying attention, you'll know how many frames you therefore have played so far and how many are left. So if you got a 6 bagger, you know that you've got 6 strikes. So here it just says strike. Cool, okay, it's just a random strike, an isolated strike. You don't need to connect it to any of the other strikes. And yes, Elisa is here. I realised that after I said isolated. I pressed the button really fast. Let's see if Barbara gets another strike here. Oh, it's a late throw. Nope. Yeah, there's Elisa. It's alright. We're getting there with that. Yes, if you've gotten 6 strikes in a row, well, if you've gotten a 6 bagger, you know that you've gotten 6 strikes. So if you've gotten a 9 bagger, you know that you've gotten 9 strikes. Oh no, you got 259 set up. If you've gotten 9 strikes in a row, you know that you only have 3 more to go. It's really obvious to you. Another late throw. So the more no, you're already at 259, so this is 248. If you get it, hold on. Yeah, it makes it harder for you to forget about the scores. But if you had an endless mode where you just get to throw the ball forever, you just get to keep throwing an infinite amount of balls, then what will happen is, I don't know what will happen. I'll tell you this. Barbara's throwing the ball in, and if you get to throw bowling balls infinitely, no, it's not throwing the ball in. If you get an infinite amount of bowling balls to throw, an infinite amount of 10-pin sets to throw, without all of these pauses in the middle, then you get to distance yourself from how many strikes you're scoring in a row, so you're not really thinking about, now it's this double. Hey, you're 1 strike away from winning Abby's game, by the way. No, you don't need to think about that. You can think about that during games and it's fun, but when you're practicing, it's not really helpful. I think that's a good thing to say, is, yeah, that would upset. The strike double tacky 4 bagger thing is supposed to be fun, and I would say that it is. Kalguba, for example, makes fun out of it. When you look at his comments, he'll find something to say about, oh, you got 248, about, I don't like 248 by the way. I think I like 247 more than 248 because I specifically don't like 247, whereas 248 is just, ugh. I'd rather get 247 and complain about it I'd rather get 247 and complain about it than get 248. I think if I get 247 and complain about it, it'll be fun, but if I get 248, I'll still complain about it, but it won't be fun. And 247 is like the joke. Oh, Barbara, if only you got 9 pins at the end. I think at that point we weren't even thinking about getting 247. That's probably why it didn't happen. I don't know. Yeah, they're meant to be fun, so you don't need to say get rid of strike turkey for burger. No, leave it in. But I guess for you, if you're trying to just get used to getting strikes, or Barbara, which is blink, blink, blink. If you want to get used to getting strikes, maybe the little captions can be distracting, but doesn't mean that you can't overcome that. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't overcome that. That was good.
Spin.
Discussion finished. I don't hope so anyway. No, you Elisa. Elisa. Oh, another late frame. It just keeps happening. Oh no. Let's start again, Barbara. No. Alright.
Nice move.
Sometimes you can't get what you want, but then again it's the fear of missing, right? Oh, there's Elisa. Where's Elisa? Let's play a game. It's called Where's Elisa? It's a nice little game you can play while you're bowling.
Nice strike.
Oh no, label tree. Label tree. Well, when we had the online session, we ran out of power. Oh, we disconnected the capture card. Stress, isn't it? Oh, messed up again. Bridge. It's a bridge. Pin number 1 created a bridge. Okay, this is going well. Not bad, not bad. My eyes. You know the shop stamp that Apple keeps using? That I sort of have a light version of that.
Spare.
Oh no. How did you miss that pin? And then I completely didn't look at how, because I was too busy explaining the expression. There's Elisa. Too busy explaining. There's that circle. I feel like I can't be bothered anymore. The game is fine, but I'm not fine. I seem to have problems. I'm just thinking too much. I don't need to. You keep doing the same thing, Tatsuki. How did you get the... When did you get the other strike? So Barbara got a strike on frame 6 and I completely forgot about it. Oh, Barbara, you got a strike on frame 6 and I was not paying attention.
Yes.
Turkey. It's almost like I've already done it. I've phased out, so I've forgotten how many strikes she's got. Oh, so now you have a turkey? What? When did that happen? Are we doing the thing but we're not paying attention to the scores? Oh, I don't really know. It was switched on. I'll be honest, I don't like being switched on. It's very wanky. I like it when I'm switched on. Usually when I'm switched on, all the anxiety comes and it's annoying. I don't like being switched on. And the game looks slow. Tatsaki. Tashinda. Shahai. And then Barbara, Lisa, and who? Who's the other person? I don't get to see because I can't do so. I'm just thinking too much. Calm down, gee. So that's Tatsaki. Oh, sorry, Tatsaki. Who else is there? Oh, Stephanie. Oh, Steve is this. Yeah, Stephanie. I don't know how to pronounce the accent on the E. Stephanie. Stephanie is there. Tatsaki. And who's the other person? Shinto.
Finish.
237. Put your fist in the air, Barbara. Oh, was that session number 2 or 3? I feel like that was session number 2. No, I don't think it was actually. I'm looking at the time, I'm seeing 22 minutes. I feel like that's the 3rd session. Because the 1st session you got 277, then you got 248, and now you got 237. So this was the 3rd session. There's so many 9 pins, and you got. Did you get 6 strikes in a row? You got 7. You got 8 strikes altogether, and got 237. That seems to look right. I wonder if I'm dehydrated. It could be another thing, but I think you just get dehydrated when you get stressed. What's happening now is nothing that hasn't happened before. Oh, I interrupted your deep breath bubble. Sorry, Bubble. Well, that was an interesting show. I guess you need to be Bubble, right? Just outside to get ready. Stephanie's left over here. Steph is right-handed. I don't know, that was a late throw. It was a late throw, but it's like, you can do a late throw, okay. But I don't know what to do. Yeah, this way, right? Yeah. Okay, start again. That was a pretty good throw test. Oh, that's why that's happening. But then that led to a late throw. I was trying not to do that. I think that just means I'm not pointing the Joy-Con down enough. That's kind of a funny idea. If you point the Joy-Con further down, you're more likely to get an early throw. But if you have a sort of, I don't know, like if you, let's say you did this, a bit like that. I think that's more like what Rohan does. I think he actually does that and not the silly thing that we talked about earlier. It's so bad in the replay. Sorry for making you do that, Barbara. But then it was a late throw, wasn't it? I don't know. But if you were to go down, just roll along the ground a bit more. Now it's really good. We'll just have another look. And try that again. I think the best parts of learning is when, oh, I don't know. I was going to say the best parts of learning, but I guess what I would have ended up saying, in other words, would have been the best part about learning is learning, but that, I don't know if that makes sense. I would have said the best part about training is learning, but then, but that's not really what I want to say, is it? It's more the best part about, I don't know, because, like, oh no, that throw was very, it felt like you threw to the left, but I'm thinking, when you think you know what you're doing, it doesn't feel as stimulating as when you know what you're doing, as when you don't know what you're doing, and then you're looking at something and thinking, I wonder how this works, instead of just saying, oh yeah, just do this. It kind of happened again, we still threw late, so I think I was scared. Yeah, scared. So that we've done this thing a couple of times. Her bowling looked really good though, her approach to the line. One thing that's quite sad in real bowling is, or well, what's quite sad about bowling in my world is if you do cross the line, it just counts as a foul and you don't even get to retry. So you just get an F on your scorecard, and then you get 0 points. So I think it's basically the equivalent of a G. Anytime you get a letter on your scorecard, it equals 0. What? What do you mean? What if you get an X on your scorecard? Good question. I don't like the feeling of that, but maybe that's because it feels different, and maybe that's because it feels, I don't know, it feels like I have no control over what I'm doing. But then who said that I have to control? I don't need to control. What's the, shadow? What happened to spin control? What? Was that not a thing before? It feels like her throws are more offset to the right, which is interesting. That wasn't really a thing before. Quite intrigued by Barbara's content, but I don't want my brain to be thinking, oh yeah, look, we're doing so well, we'll make it there in no time. Which leave these thoughts behind. And that stroke was different to the other one, so clearly there's something different. I think she hooked it a bit more, a bit closer to the centre, but her early throws are looking very consistent. I do like seeing 250, it's fun. Yeah, let's go with that. It's very consistent. He said that. I'm not sure how early she threw, but it did look like she threw early still. So her hook was just off. Her hook was offset. She got 278, 279 again, sorry. I forgot about this thing here. It has 13% battery life. That's risky to play with. I wanted to upload a video on that laptop, but I forgot. We were playing for too long, so I don't think that will be possible. What? I can't do that. Apparently I can. What's doing? I don't know. This seems a bit different to this before. We'll play around with that thing, that early throw thing. And maybe we should have a break because my head's not happy. I'm just thinking about more than it needs to. How to break the habit, not sure. My throws are definitely out. I like that about it, but it doesn't mean that every time I'm a bit strong, you know? There's still some spin control involved. Good. There's Elisa. Where's Elisa? There's Elisa. Elisa. Over there. Stephanie. Yeah, that throw was really interesting. So, I remember in May, when I started getting really mad, your throws were looking a bit like that. The yellow's throws were actually looking like that as well, March. I wasn't too happy with it, but I did notice that. It almost looks like your arm does like a little, you sort of wriggle your arm as you throw. Interesting how that one worked. Okay, that's pin number 2. Wait, did pin number 7 get there then? I'm not sure. Maybe I should pay attention a bit more to what pin number, like that part of the link. I don't really look like pin number 2 got straight into it. No, pin number 4 did get that pin that time. That was good. Pin number 2 was straight. Really fast. And that was good. Personally, I don't know. So when you do something cool, how do you cool down? Very good question. It feels like the secret is, okay, you do something good and then you forget about it and you try and, you do it again, but it's like you don't have a legacy. When you've got a legacy and you feel like, okay, well you did it, now you need to do it again. Then you start thinking too much, I don't know. Oh, that was a late throw, but yeah, it's all gone now. But if you don't have a legacy, then I'm not sure. Oh no, dug at the ground. Don't dig the ground. Oh no, you didn't do it, Barbara. I did. I was talking about myself. Oh look, you got 8-0, so that's a 2-6-4 setup. Late for again.
Strike.
Yeah, but the man's getting ungrateful, isn't he? Because he's swinging and Barbara's doing that mates instead of Alex. But the truth is, you don't even know how to do Alex. So, I don't know. It's where the training gets a bit annoying, isn't it? Because no, you're being too picky. But that's the thing that you're talking about, isn't it? Where before you were picky, like actually, you were trying things out to see what works, what doesn't. Oh. But now all of a sudden everything has to be spick and span, as they say. What does that mean? I don't really know what it means, but I hear it in the context of everything needs to be clean, everything needs to be just the way you want it. And guess what? It does not need to be that way. So, get out of your head.
Nice strike.
But how do you get out of your head? I don't know. Well, clearly, no, I don't know. I really don't. Maybe mixing it up would be good. Not sure how. Not sure how. How would you mix it up? What is it you need to do? You won't have these games.
Finish.
You don't need all these training stuff. Well, it helps. You don't need it. And you got 2 full 4 this time. And you got 6 strikes, and you got an isolated strike, and you got 3 more. So you got 10. Yeah, you got 10 strikes again. Oh, let's drink some water. Don't have much left. Well, so when you rush, trying to drink water will mess up your body. That's why we say not to rush. We are our own student. It sounds like a Suzukawa song. I don't actually know the words because it's in Japanese. I know that the last word in that part of the song is railroad crossing, but it's railroad crossing in Japanese. Yumikiri? Something like that. I haven't actually seen the the translation, not even translation, I haven't seen the word. But what I'm thinking of is, I see Tatsuyaki's name. It's Tatsuyaki, right? But it's hard to me. You only see it is in English letters. You don't see it in kanji, for example. So, I guess what I'm saying is, there is a word for it. Say Tatsuyaki's name in English letters. Roman letter, what is it, Latin? I don't know. There's a word for that. That translation of the name. Like for, I think it's a flick. We didn't put enough power into the swing early enough. I don't like making the ball pop out of Barbara's hand, so
Spare.
I feel bad for Barbara. I want Barbara to have the ball in her hand. And Barbara get to throw it, not have some magical spirit take the ball away from her and pop. Look, there's Lisa. Have you been playing Where's Elisa while I haven't been? That's been your homework. Oh no, it just doesn't. I don't like it when that happens.
Next string.
And that's okay. It's not like it has to not happen, but if you're trying not to make it happen, I guess you're failing because you're making it happen. Failure. Oh.
Great double.
It doesn't help that we're sitting down. I don't think we can't get the full potential of the swing because I don't have a lot of space behind me. Look, stop caring about Barbara's score. I'm talking to myself. Almost ate the ground again. And then Barbara did this the twisty thing. Why does that happen? I'm not sure. I really don't know why it happens. It didn't look like it happened there, just the interesting part. So it might just be my brain being silly. Well, my brain's not being silly. My brain's being very silly. But when your brains do things that you don't want them to do, you say to your brain it's silly. Well, it's not. Yes, when people call each other stupid, the thing that they're calling stupid is not actually stupid. It's more the brain is doing what it's been programmed to do, but not in the way that you want it to be done. And so then you say it's stupid. Say the guy who said that 9 plus 10 is 21. That guy was smart because he used whatever knowledge he had to assume that 9 plus 10 was 21. And let's be honest, when you think about it, he was only 2 values off. It's not like he said 9 plus 10 is minus 2. That would have been wildly different. And even then, he must have had some kind of logic for saying that it's minus 2. But the fact is, he said it was 21. Which is actually close to 19. So his mathematics there was not that bad. It's like if I said Barbara has a certain score, and then I look at it like there was a time where I said Barbara's score might have been 208, and it wasn't, it was 218. You might say, oh, you're stupid. It wasn't 208, it was 218. But then why did I say it was 208? Because I knew that the units digit was 8, and I knew that she would have at least 200 points. So actually it was quite smart in that context to have assumed that the score was 208, but there was obviously a miscalculation somewhere, so they ended up saying it was 208 instead of 218. And the brain was doing its work, like, based on what you knew. Yeah, he applied whatever you need to do. Even what you're seeing here is just that we're only doing what we know how to do. So it's like if someone doesn't get a strike, you might call them stupid because they didn't do the thing. And if you were smart, if you were good, you would be able to do it. But you're not smart, you're not good because you can't do it. Look, imagine, right? Let's see what happens here. The narrative caught you. It's like Barbara was only 2 strikes off of getting a perfect game. You're too bad, Barbara. Too stupid. You're not good enough. But then it's like, well, it's not. I'm not sure if I'd say that Barbara's not good enough or that Barbara's stupid, because Barbara's only doing what she knows how to do. She's also already said that she's not a professional bowler, but that's a separate story. The fact is, Barbara's doing the best that she can, and she's still throwing the ball, which is part of the game. The aim of the game is to throw the ball, so she's throwing the ball, it's getting to the other side of the lane, the ball's being rolled, it's not being, like it's moving, so you get the ball past the line and it's moving. That's what you're supposed to make happen. And I don't know, it's just things like that. Barbara is playing the game to the best of her ability, like we said before when we said knock over as many pins as you can. And Barbara is doing that. I don't think it's fair to say that she's stupid just because she's not getting a strike, because she's clearly, I'm not sure if she's clearly aiming for it, but she's throwing the ball in the right spot. Based on the way she hooks, she's throwing it in the right spot, and she's applying as much knowledge as she has to get it. Yeah, to say that she's stupid because that happened, I don't think that's, I don't know, I don't think it's necessary. That didn't feel right.
Nice spare.
You got the result, but it's not what I wanted to achieve. I think the ball popped out of her hand a bit too. And that goes back to that whole get good narrative that a lot of people who play competitive video games use. They look down at the other players and say, yeah, get good, you're nothing, you're rubbish compared to me, I'm the best, you're like trash. Get good. And we're thinking, well, we're already good. We may not be as good as you are, but we're already good. So you're telling us to do something that we already are. It's not like they say, get better than us. They don't want to say that because it doesn't sound as cool. It sounds cooler to say get good. For some reason it sounds cooler to say that the other person is complete trash rather than to say they're good, they're just not better than that specific person. It seems to feel good to say that someone is completely insignificant rather than to say that they're at least something. I don't know, that seems to feel weird. Why is that one? It's like even Tatsuaki, let's see what he does. I would say that was good power on that ball. It's just he aimed it like that and then he got 1 pin. But he did something. I wouldn't say he's stupid, but... Am I alone with... Oh, late throw. Am I alone with that? Not sure. I'm not sure. No, I'm not alone with that, because I already know that Axel feels quite similarly to me. I'd say that's what brought him to this channel, because he watched the stuff and he thought, wow, the stuff that this guy's saying and this guy's bowling is so cool. Although it's not really me, is it? Well, yeah. Well, he's not seeing my bowling, he's seeing Barbara's bowling, but I'm playing a part in it, aren't I? I'm supporting Barbara. And he's saying, yeah, your support's really good. You're making Barbara look so cool. Oh my goodness, did you think Barbara is cool?
Nice screen.
Anyway. That's oh, you got stuck there a bit, Barbara. That's Stephanie. Did you see Elisa? I saw Elisa. Elisa? I saw Elisa. Sure. Got all the pins out there. Oh, that's quite good, Barbara. I can't see Elisa. She's good. Where's Elisa? Oh no. Is she isolated? Turkey. What was it? Pinora. Would you like some turkey, Barbara? And then Pinhead says, yeah, for me too, Pinora. Okay, yeah, I'll cook some for you as well. Oh, Barbara, what was that? You're like, what? Oh, you're just twitching. Okay. I already talked about twitching. That was what we said the other day. Oh yeah, I'm just twitching. Twitching? What do you mean you're twitching? No, like, I'm going live. Oh! Oh, because you're a Twitch streamer. Oh, okay. I didn't know that's what the kids say now. I talk like I'm 40 years old. No, I'm not 40 years old, Barbara. You already know that. You've met me in your world. Although, to be so I guess I could be any age in your world, couldn't I? Let's start smoking.
Strike.
Stephanie, I feel like there's a point where we just do this for so long that we enter the Tomoko zone. I'm not sure if that's... I would like to test that, but... One, I feel like we have tested it before, and two, I don't really feel like I have the time. It's the idea that you just keep doing this, but you do it for so long that, like I said, you see strike double, it just becomes background captions. You just see it like, I'm so used to seeing Spocko Square. I don't talk about Spocko Square, do I? Because Spocko Square, like, I do notice it, but I guess it doesn't have that much of a, yeah, it's not really that, well, it's not important because, Turkey means you got 3 strikes. Spocko Square is just a place you're bowling in. So we just, just ignore it, I suppose. Oh, we appreciate that instead. I'll be staring at the Spocko Square logo in the background, the little text. Oh, but why have you got another 248 setting? I just noticed that now.
Wonderful.
It irritated me so much that you just got 247. Then I would have been laughing. Because one, I did the thing again where I distracted myself, and then 2, it's 247. And now it's just 248, isn't it? Ugh. 248 is the new 247. I never liked 248 to begin with, but I guess we just never got it as much as 247. We got, 218. And he got Turkey. You still keep getting 9 pins, it's a lot of pins. Your form is good, sorry, you keep getting 9 pins, you're not getting any splits or anything, it's just 9 pins. 9 pins or strike, that's it. If we just keep playing, everything becomes background. And then you make nothing out of it. It's something that Matt Thompson talks about, and we're not going to keep talking about this guy because he does training, but physical training. But because he does training, no, it's not because he does training that what he says is relevant. It's more because he does training in a way that I think is relatable, but also beneficial. Because there are so many ways you can train, but it's like, I don't know. There's some forms of training that aren't really that helpful for you. I feel like he understands what he's putting himself through and things like that. I'm not sure. So it's not a case where I take his word for it, it's more a case where I listen to what he's saying and I'm thinking, you know, he's onto something, if that makes sense. I.e., what he's saying, I agree with what he's saying. I think you can get 258 with that. Well, I don't know if you're getting 258. You think at this point we could do it because we're pretty proficient in getting strikes like that. It's really good. But sometimes it doesn't happen. But honestly, like I'm saying, we don't actually know what you're doing, Barbara. So to be able to say, oh yeah, we can get a strike, I couldn't actually tell you. If you ask me, hey, Barbara, can you ask me, I'm not Barbara, so if you asked us collectively, can you get a strike right now? I would say to you, I'm not really sure, you know. I'm not really sure, sorry. Because if I said, yeah, sure, probably wouldn't get it, because we don't really know what we're doing. Again, that was a really good strike, but not all of them are like that. So what's Matt Wholesome saying? Wholesome. How do you pronounce his name? I don't know. I've never heard him pronounce his surname. I've only heard him pronounce his first name. What's he saying? Oh yes, it's about the stimulus bit. We've spoken about being stimulated, haven't we? The most effective training he feels, I don't know if that's actually what he said, but I do think that he feels the most effective training is the training where you're feeling stimulated. You feel like you're actually doing something. He feels like there's no point training if
Yes.
Sounds like the feedback thing. There's no point training if you get no feedback from it. If you're not feeling the training, then I guess you're not getting any feedback from the workout, so then it's sort of like the workout is void. It's like you're not doing nothing, but what you're doing isn't actually much. My headset did something, so yeah. If it's not stimulating, then it means that you're not really getting. That's interesting. Means you're not getting much out of your session. So even for his easy sessions, he wants to do something that at least gets him feeling like he's working out. I guess that's the whole point. You can do a run, but if the run doesn't feel like it's exercising, then you're just sort of running. It's like I could go for a walk and the walk won't feel like exercise. You won't feel your muscles pulsating or something. I'm not sure how that works. You won't feel the blood pumping through. But that's quite interesting. Let's look at that again. I probably won't look at it properly now. Yeah, I don't know. So what really are we talking about? We're doing what we're doing right now. I wouldn't say that during these sessions I'm feeling anything in particular. It feels like we're doing the same thing over and over again and getting varying results. Sometimes I'll see something and think, that was interesting. But then sometimes it just feels like nothing. And so I wouldn't say that these sessions are pointless, but it sort of feels like we're not making a lot of progress, which is probably why we stopped last year, because I think our training was getting a bit like that, where we're able to get strikes, sure, whatever, but it doesn't feel like late through, it doesn't feel like I'm learning anything in particular. At least I can say, okay, yeah, late through, I know why that happened, sort of thing. We are starting to feel that. And it's kind of funny. The mistakes are the things that I seem to feel more. Some of, not all, but some of the mistakes, like the late through ones, I feel them. Some of the hooking ones, like here, I'll feel that as well. I'll understand why that didn't work. But then sometimes we'll do the earlies. It looks like it should work, but then it doesn't, and then I'm not really sure where Barbara went wrong. 235. Yeah, I won't be sure where Barbara went wrong. But because Matt's training is physical, this is different, so being stimulated doesn't really work in the same way. I'm wondering what's going to get that out of us. How are we going to find some kind of training action that gets our brain? I like how that person has blue hair. I'm not sure if it's because she has dark skin that makes the blue seem really strange. To be fair, there isn't a sportsmate with blue hair that has that skin tone, right? I don't think he even has blue hair. Kentaro has blue hair. Ashley has blue hair. Tomoko, yes. I was thinking there's someone really potent who has blue hair that I haven't mentioned. I don't even think it was Tomoko I was thinking of, but Tomoko does have blue hair. Yes, she does. She does have blue hair. And I don't know anyone else who has blue hair. Tomoko, Kentaro, and funny, they both have Japanese names. And then Ashley. I don't know anyone else with blue hair. Oh, that thing's reached even low battery. Well, that's kind of interesting because we have reached the hour mark, so really I should be stopping now. But I did want to continue the topic of our staying place. The bowling balls have friend. I think that's really nice. I don't think Infinity Rank players feel that way about the bowling ball. Ah yes, the bowling ball's my best friend. We work together and we win matches. No, we win matches, I think. I don't know. Our brain doesn't really get ticked. Even that throw, I don't really feel what happened. It just happens. Okay. Sorry, it's like, it feels like a miscellaneous action. Okay, that happened. Moving on. Also, slightly annoying that happened and we didn't understand what happened. That sort of thing. That's how it feels. It feels that way for a lot of people, I understand that. So when we hear people say, this game's broken and all that, it's related to that. They throw the ball and they don't understand what went wrong. It doesn't mean that the game's broken. I think a lot of the time, there's something that the player doesn't understand. But then, that was like trying to get them to understand that. I'm not sure how to go about it, how the player is to understand where they went wrong. I see, I recognise that was a late throw, and I understand what gets Barbara throwing the ball later.
Nice there.
Fairly, I'm getting used to that. Getting used to distinguishing an early throw from a late throw. But there are other things that I don't understand yet. And so it'll be when those things happen that I think, okay, I'm not sure why that happened. I'm not sure what we need to do See, because that, again, I'm not really sure, but maybe I'm just switched off. Well, probably I'm switched off from the bit that's causing that to happen. This is a 268 setup. Harry spin, okay. Whoa, how did that happen? That's interesting. Well, maybe the stimulus is to do a bunch of wonky stuff. We'll try it once and then see what happens. And obviously we do it once. It's not necessarily going to give you the full picture, but I'm just curious because you see a lot of us, what we do is we just go for strikes, isn't it? Because if you get strikes, then you win the game, isn't it? But you can get a strike without really knowing how you're getting the strike, which is exactly what's happening. So that's not really helping, is it? But then if you do a bunch of random things, I don't know if that's going to give you more of what you're looking for. You do a bunch of random things with no understanding of what, I don't really know, no expectation. And then you're able to, that's funny, you're able to feel what happens a bit more, I don't know. The concept interests me because Susanna does that, where Susanna just bowls from anywhere. Do you remember, there's Elisa, the story that I mentioned in the rights video, where you have Tilly, you have a Maria clone, who I think her name was Marie. You have a Perry clone, who we named Rosa, but I don't think I ever shared her name. And then you have a Susanna clone, who I named Susie. And so you see Barbara's bowling right now, she's getting these strikes. That's like Rosa. Rosa bowls from the same spot and she gets strikes almost all the time. And then Susanna, or Susie, she's just doing ridiculous stuff. And what, you'll be watching her and you'll be thinking, why is she doing that for? I don't understand what Susie's doing, she's crazy. But then Rosa's looking at her and thinking, this is how you gain experiences. And then Tilly goes up to Rosa because Tilly knows Rosa's good at bowling and asks her for advice. And then Rosa says, if you want to be better at bowling, you don't need to be talking to me, you need to be talking to Susie. Go and play with Susie. Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy. Go and play with Susie and she'll bring you up. She won't realise it, or she doesn't realise it right now, but she's the making of a great bowler. Let me go talk to Susie. Leave me alone. I don't know how caring he is, but Rosa's very quiet. Rosa, she likes having her own space. She likes being observant from the sidelines and watching what happens. She's not very vocal. So I guess, in one sense, no, Rosa probably doesn't want to train Tilly, but even with that grudge, I don't think Rosa would tell Tilly to go to Susie just to get her off her, just to get her away. I know that Rosa tells Tilly to go to Susie because she knows that Susie's going to get Tilly to do so much wild stuff that Tilly's going to get a much thorough experience of bowling, experience a lot more of what can happen in the sport than if she just does what Rosa does, because Rosa's just doing this.
Fantastic.
That only tells you how to get struck from the spot. So what about all the other crazy things you can do in this game? You're not going to learn that from Rosa, because Rosa's not bothered to teach that to you. Rosa may actually try herself, but she's not going to get Tilly. I think you've got a 247 set up. You're not going to get Tilly to do it with her, because she's not bothered with She's not bothered enough to do it often. Nor does she really know what she's doing, so she's not really going to be able to teach Tilly. Susie's not going to teach Tilly either, but Susie will quite happily take Tilly as a bowling partner. So what is this all about? It's about doing wild stuff that seemingly doesn't make sense. You know, we talked about looking stupid. It's those things. Do the things that look stupid. And clearly that's what Tilly thought of Susie. Tilly thought Susie was wild. Why do I want to bowl like Susie? That doesn't make any sense. Because it's almost like Susie seems stupid to Tilly, but actually there's something in Susie's bowling that, like I said, Rosa can see. Rosa knows that Susie's not stupid. Even if she might actually think that what Celine does is wild, but she's not going to say her bowling's stupid. Or if she does say it, she'll say it like a joke, but she won't mean it because she knows better. How much battery life does this laptop have? You also got 247, it has 4%. Alright, let's get the same charged. We are sitting down, so that probably helps. Yeah, 247, yeah, she got it. I don't want to see that. She got 247. It's like, oh, cool, we got 247. What happened to all those times where 247 was this cursed score? But I need to avoid at all costs. I don't even think she could have gotten 258. Because she got 3 spares in a row. The only way she could have got 2-5, yeah, I don't think she could. No, she would have had to do something weird where I think it's like her score's 257. No, her score would be 258, and then she just rolls the ball to the gutter. Because from frame 4, she had a 268 set up. And so by the time she gets to the final throw, her score would already be 258. Get the last strike, 268. But if we're going for... okay, this is going to be annoying. If we're going for 258, you can't get the last strike. You can't... Oh dear. I don't know what happened. That was weird. You can't get any pins at all. So it would just be gutter 0. Yeah. Be careful. Yeah. Also, the society trains us to not like feeling stupid. The society basically, it's like, it always feels like the key to success is like, I don't know, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I don't know, but I do admire Susanna, the way that she just does wild stuff, and not necessarily that she gets results, but it's more the fact that she's bothered to try doing that stuff, as if she doesn't regret doing it. She has no regrets turning up with that idea and then executing it. Oh, sorry. Susanna is fully committed to doing the wild technique. You know what, Barbara? I'm just saying. Either we need to consult Susanna. To be fair, Susanna was supposed to be part of my personal training program from 2024. Pardon me, and I didn't follow through with it. Siobhan led that thing. We had the Siobhan streams. And then there was that one where Susanna was there as well, both of them. And then Siobhan, however you want to pronounce her name, she proposed this idea called Siobhan, it's a confidence conference. That's what it was called. A confidence conference. We'll meet up and just get myself to stop being scared. And Siobhan is she's like she's like the big girl, but she's not really a big girl. I think that's just a narrative. It's more, well, she's an adult, right? She definitely behaves like one, and she drinks lots of coffee. That is our Siobhan, not necessarily the one that you're familiar with. Siobhan keeps things real. We're just using phrases. I don't like this, you know. Siobhan doesn't hide from reality, and then Susanna does whatever she wants. And combined, Siobhan's idea was to have the two of them help me, or whatever. I was saying, either I get you to do random Susanna stuff, or we actually get Susanna in, and the training continues but with Susanna. But then I guess that's up to you, isn't it, Barbara? Because if you don't really mind, then it could be fun for you as well. Barely missed it. I don't know, I'm just thinking, this might just be the future. Oh no. Well, that does sound a bit like the special lanes, a little bit, but with the special lanes we still get a bit comfy. Uh-oh, too much.
Nice spare.
You got the spare part. Breaking habits, huh? Let's go for Harry spin. It's like, let's go for Harry spin. Yeah, so you nail the Harry spin, right? Don't be picky. That's Ashley's job. Leave it to Ash. Leave it to Ashley. We're not being picky. Breaking habits. Let's see here. Let's try this.
Strike.
It's good stuff. Okay, number one. Okay.
Great double.
Oh, my brain's just blowing up. It's Tatsuki. I guess because you only have a small weight, so I'm trying to pick a spot. What do you pick? But I guess that's where Susanna's a bit more helpful because with Susanna she just, well, I don't actually think like that. Susanna does the darts, so you just sort of end up somewhere. But also I close my eyes when I do it too. I guess something like this. And just click buttons. Get you dancing, Barbara. Go Barbara, go Barbara, go Barbara. Where are you? Okay, you're there. Late for it.
Go, go!
What pin was that? Pin number 2, you lost that one. Yeah. Alright, where are we going now? Right, same spot. try something. Well, it worked,
Yes.
but it was close. I think my brain's just scared right now. It just feels like none of this should be happening. You got in a fight like a... You have to lose it as well to dancing, because there's only so many ways you can dance, so you really have to, right now Barbara's in the gutter, so that's not gonna work. Really now, to be honest, that's quite normal, which I don't like, because I'm sitting here naked that was. I don't think we put any thought into it. We just said, oh, do your normal technique, rather than actually putting your brain to work. Maybe that's what it is. It's trained technique course. I don't care how many strikes you got. Let's try this. Let's leave it off. Can you do it from here? Be a bit more like that. I think that's too much. We could try this. Oh, wait, so you're like this. That was not bad. It wasn't bad. I think I could have tilted more like, maybe.
Finish.
Well, here's what I'll say with that. You actually still got 2-2-3, but it's because you got 6 strikes in a row. That's why. Look, you doing the thumbs up. Oh, job well done. I think that was a job well done, Barbara, because personally I feel like that was a bit more stimulating. Yeah, I was scared, but that's just habits, isn't it? I think that session was probably the most stimulating session we had. Maybe I'm being a bit biased, but I'm also just saying that because I've been in situations like that, and I've seen people being in situations like that, and then they say that just to cover up something. I don't know if that was the best session or not, but it definitely felt like a good session. Mostly because it felt like, like I said, we were putting our brain to work. When we were just doing your technique, we weren't putting our brain to work. We didn't have a sense of let's try this. It was more let's do what we've always been doing, which we don't even understand. So if we just keep doing what we've been doing, but we don't understand what we're doing, it feels like whether or not we learn something is a bit more luck-based. I'm going to turn this down a bit. I feel like whether or not we learn anything will be more luck, because there's not anything immediate that we're doing that we're picking up. I think it will take a bit longer to learn that way than to just do a bunch of random stuff. And even if what we're learning isn't necessarily Barbara's main technique, we're still learning stuff about the sport, which I guess keeps us a bit more engaged with what's going on. I'm not too sure, but I think that session got us to think more about what we were doing rather than to keep throwing the ball in the same way and hope for the best. I think something happened. I think we were more curious in that session. I noticed it on the last frame, because the last frame was the frame where Barbara didn't hook enough, but then I noticed that Barbara didn't hook enough, and then I felt like I understood why Barbara didn't hook enough, which I think was helpful. But then those times where, like we said, Barbara's throwing, like, it feels like I'm swinging the same for Barbara, but then the ball isn't in the right spot. I feel like I don't understand what's going on, so not getting any feedback from it. I don't think that's good. If you're trying to learn how to improve, I think you don't want to be stuck thinking you don't know what, I don't know. I don't know really. It does take me back to the training trio though, because I suppose that was the whole point. Barbara, you bowled from your spot, Siobhan bowled from her spot, which was just the standard left-hand idle spot, if that makes sense. I actually think that you're standing in the middle, but the ball's in your left hand, so then it's offset to the left, and then same with the right, I'm not sure. But yeah, and I would stand from the starting point on the right hand side because she's right handed, and then she had her spin, and then Siobhan had her hooking to do as well, so it just got us to do a bit more than normal. The joke being that Siobhan and I would typically get lower scores than you, but doing I and Siobhan's technique was a bit more stimulating because we didn't actually know what we were doing, so it felt like, okay, let's see how this works. Not quite. Well, we could try this next time. And the thing I was saying about the special lanes is a bit similar there, because sometimes with the special lanes you do have to do a bit more. The special lanes actually, to some degree, has a good mix of Barbara's technique, and then extra Harry spin or Fumiko spin. Though I think because we have our sort of comfort zones, it's still easy for us to be a bit complacent and say, yeah, just do this, and then not really get the feedback out of it. I think we'll wrap this up at 1 hour 30. I think for our next session, my plan right now for our next session will be that you'll either only do special links, or we'll call it Susanna style and then special links. I'm not sure if we'll do Addy's links mix Susanna style, but we'll just do Susanna style 3 times, and then we'll do special links, but just freestyle special links, and see how that goes. Maybe that'll be a bit more stimulating, because I think that's where we're getting the most we're gaining the most experiences. We're getting more experience points when we're doing something different. I'm not sure if I'm just reading off of video games here, because RPG video games do have that function where if you play against the enemies that you fought at the start of the game, you get less experience points because they don't require much strategy to defeat. They also have low health points, so they're easier to defeat. So you don't get much experience points from it, but then the harder enemies, you gain more experience. The later enemies, you gain more experience points for defeating them because they're a bit more difficult and they have more health points. So I guess it's like that. Do more trickier things, do less intuitive things that get your brain working a bit more, gain more experience. And the whole point of training is for us to gain more experiences, so maybe that'll be more effective than doing early's late mix all the time. I'm not going to say early's late mix is gone, we're never going to do it again. I think it's still value to doing it, but I think next time we'll try try some. Oh, sorry. Next time we'll try something different. I'll keep what I've said in mind.